Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Pulipaka. Yeah, welcome everybody today for this session. Also, thank you very much for that really good and interesting speech to introduce the session. So I have like 15 minutes, so probably I can. Is there like questions in the end? So or just the presentation? Because otherwise I would just do 10 minutes and we can have 5 minutes questions, or just 15 minutes anyways. Okay, I'm here presenting today some experiences from Germany and Europe. I keep it short and. Because I really want to talk about some specific subjects. I start with the idea of agrivoltaics and the integrated PV concept as such. Then I will present some R&D results, which we have from our own project in southern Germany at the Lake of Constance. Then I will show another slide dedicated to developments and innovations in Europe on a larger scale, particularly France, for example, on the Netherlands and Belgium. Then I will highlight some of the mega trends and the research ahead of agrivoltaics, where mainly where will the action of research happen in years to come. And at the end, I will talk a little bit about the building of a worldwide agrivoltaics community as part of a conference which we have next year. Okay, first the idea of integrated photovoltaics as lands gets scarce and scarce, but module technology and cell technology cheaper. These concepts of integrating it into different houses or streets or water bodies or even cars, for example, is gaining momentum. And this is our department or division in Fraunhofer ISE is particularly researching how to integrate photovoltaics with these different areas. There's a rough estimation of technical potential for agrivoltaics in Germany. It's a technical, it doesn't, so that means not economical or not implementable, but theoretically what could be the scope. As you can see here, APV or agrivoltaics has the highest potential of all, even higher than, for example, building integrated, or even higher than, for example, using it on roads. The concept, as we imagine it, is that the panels are elevated at least 3 meters. And at least 90% or 85 or 95% of the land actually is usable for agriculture. And that is quite important because sometimes panels are not elevated and there's agriculture in between, or the agriculture or the modules, sorry, are only like on the edges of the field, but we actually really mean fully elevated. To make full use of the land. So agrivoltaics research is going on for more than 10 years. The idea was originally coming from Mr. Götzberger, also from Fraunhofer ISE, and also Mr. Nagashima from Japan reinvented it for the Japanese context. I'm just going through a little bit because I see the time is getting a little tight, and at the end I want to talk about these research questions which we have for the future. So yeah, here you can see the pilot which we installed in southern Germany. It's about roughly 200 kilowatts, 1/3 of a hectare. And as you can see here on the picture to the left below, it's been elevated to an extent where we can really use the large-scale harvesters, which was an invention at that point of time. Organic agriculture is practiced in that plot. It's a Demeter certified farm, which is sort of one of the highest standards for organic agriculture. in Germany. As you can see, we have also included a lot of mitigation measures. So, for example, the foundations are not concrete but spinacre, in order that we can remove the facility without actually destroying any soil or degrading the land. So this is really the concept that the land remains agricultural, and any intervention on that land, may it be such an photovoltaics facility, can be removed without further degradation. There are also other things like ram protection. If the tractor or any equipment rams there, that there will be no damage to the facility. We also use bifacial glass modules. This is, as I will say a little later, a mega trend there, that we use glass modules or semi-transparent modules. And yes, this is was a pilot from 2017. So by now it evolved a little further, because we are also looking at high costs here. So if we elevate it at 5 or 6 meters, the cost of the mounting structure increases, and this might be a thing that might not so 100% viable in economic sense. So future development more go towards reducing the mounting structure in weight and but also in size. But that I will explain later a little bit. Now the agricultural side. So our concern is really to give agricultural a prime or primary role here. Because of course we can say the economic value of the electricity generated is manifold higher than the economic value of the crops being produced, but the idea is really to put agricultural in the foreground and say we want to make agricultural activities right, and not just an add-on to the solar PV installation. Here you can see the potato yields. Pretty so in the first year 2017 they were a slight decrease, then in 2018, where we had like a very hot year, the yield was relatively higher. This shows the positive impact of the shading on the crop water balance, but also on soil water balances. I think Mr. Santra will later can explain that also in detail, but we see definitely a lot of potential to decrease irrigation amounts via the use of shading. Yeah, as I said, regarding the cost, this is a cost analysis. So if we have conventional PV, we in Germany, that might be a little old figure here, 6 euros per kilowatt hour, might be a little lower by now, but this proportion is about the gap we are talking about. So 6 euros per kilowatt hour for conventional PV and about 8 for agrivoltaics. So it's not it's actually not competitive with the usual or conventional PV, but it is competitive with other land neutral photovoltaics technologies or applications, just like rooftop, for example. Okay, to get to the European experiences and innovations which are happening. I picked a couple of examples from some countries. Sorry, I will mention some company names, but I hope it's fine. I mean, these people are really doing innovative work, so I think I can spotlight them without making any advertisement. Okay, so here in France, for example, we have Sun Agri. They have a 2 megawatt site with wine grapes and use single tracking. And they also developed the algorithm and tracking software in order to provide the best shade for the plants and find the right compromise between shade for the plants, but also electricity generation. This can also be done in a two-axis way. For example, the Rentec from Italy developed a two-axis tracking system where you have like full controllability of the shade and also of the electrical yield. So they're having new plants with more than 2 wings per row coming up in Japan, but also in France and China. Another approach without tracking is the solarization of orchards, for example, berries or horticulture or any kind of pears or apples. So in the Netherlands and in Belgium, there are 2 very nice examples, one from BayWa, 2.7 megawatts, and one from KU Leuven. KU Leuven is only a small research facility, but they're doing very interesting work with semi-transparent modules and also experimenting with peers. And yeah, in the Netherlands, they're also using semi-transparent modules, experimenting with different transparency levels, and also yielding raspberries, and claim that the microclimate has improved much. For vertical, in Germany, another really interesting innovation is vertical PV, done by Next to Sun, and these 4 megawatts, for example, are here to show that it's possible that we have, with a minimal increase of ground mounting structure cost, we can actually have 2 load peaks, one in the morning, one in the evening, and therefore can be have a very good electricity supply management, and also use this land for example, photo production. However, tests are still ongoing with actual crops, or food crops, so to say. So it has to be seen in how far that is viable with that one. Okay. So 12 minutes gone. So I will just say a couple of words regarding the mega trends which we're facing based on these innovations. First of all, a single and dual axis tracking. This might not so much be of relevance for the current situation in India, but in the future there will be a lot of work and new plants will come up with at least single axis tracking system. Also, Fraunhofer has some research project going in that direction. Water management, of course. So how can we utilize this significant or this very good impact on the water balance, and how can we actually go deeper there, and how can we actually maximize this? Also regarding rainwater harvest, we have a very nice project there in Algeria, for example. Integration with horticulture, cash crops, also benefiting a lot from the shade. So this will be a major application in the future for agrivoltaics. Automation, of course, digitalization, never to forget these algorithms that stand behind these tracking systems, and the integration of smart and precision farming applications into the mounting structure of agrivoltaics is a future topic, might only head off really in 10 years maybe, or 5 years, but it's definitely there. And a very exciting future strategic thing. Agronomy, of course, nutrients management, agrivoltaic, optimized crop selection and rotation, a very important subject. And of course, the policy learning. So we have things in Massachusetts, policy promotion. We have policy promotion in Japan, in China, in France, innovative tender schemes, and also India making first steps with KUSUM. KUSUM not directly promotes agrivoltaics as such, but KUSUM is a very, very good base for co-locating solar and agriculture, and is a very important step towards agrivoltaics as such. So half a minute left. So I would like to close my presentation here with a call for your attention. And we are having a really nice conference next year, the second conference for agrivoltaic research. This year in October, the first conference took place with over 300 participants, dozens of really interesting presentations, abstracts, and papers. And next year in June, we in Freiburg in Germany from Fraunhofer ISE have the privilege to host the second conference. And yeah, everybody is invited. I'm super excited. And if you want to even perhaps submit some abstracts, do that until February the 5th. And yes, I hope we see each other at the conference there. And that was my 15 minutes, I guess.